My name's Beck Taylor, and this is where I gave birth, in the back extension of my house surrounded by toys. That's pretty unusual these days because most women don't give birth at home in the UK. In 2015, less than 3% of women gave birth at home. So that's something I'd like to change, because what's even more unusual is that I'm a doctor who had a home birth. Now, we tend to like to be near our colleagues just in case anything goes wrong. And the reason I decided to have a home birth is that we've got fantastic evidence now that for the right women, that's low risk women who've had a baby before, it's just as safe to give birth at home. And it's associated with other benefits like reduced chance of caesarean, reduced chance of forceps, and it's a pretty great experience as well. One of the big problems we've got and why home birth is so low is that hospitals always seem like the right, safest place, certainly in our own generation's lifetime. But the evidence we've got now says something different. Another barrier we've got is the portrayal of birth in the media as something that is an emergency, that's very dramatised, something which isn't very natural or normal, something that requires hospital and doctors and emergency services. In fact, there's a great systematic review published by others, not by our team, last year, that demonstrates that that's the case, and that's why I'd like to talk to you about perhaps challenging some of that stuff. We can support that work with some of our fieldwork that we've done on the ground in Birmingham, where we explored women's perceptions of home birth and what they thought about it, why they thought they might not want one. And the sort of stuff that came out was things like, well, is it safe? Great evidence we can show for that. Is it messy? Who comes? When do they come? Do they leave straight after the baby's born? Does my husband have to clear everything up? Does my mother-in-law have to clear everything up? Isn't home birth just for hippies? All of these sort of things have come up in our work, and I'm sure if we went out into the community now, we could find people on the street who would come up with the same stuff again, and we could work through those myths and bust them using research evidence, using the fantastic contacts that we've got in our research team with members of the NHS, with home birth midwives, independent midwives, and with women who've had home births. And the great thing is, it's not just the traditional women, and in that group I include me as a white middle class professional. It's not just posh middle class white women who have home births. It can be for everyone, and that's something else that we could portray in this kind of programme, to bust some of those myths around home birth, and I think that would be great. So we'd love to work with you, and hope to hear from you. Thanks.